That night, Daniel awoke to find himself in Turkey again. Gorth was patiently sitting, waiting in the mist, passing the time by ignoring Charlotte, who was just as studiously ignoring Gorth. "All right," said Daniel. "What happened here?" "He," said Charlotte, "was just saying how your dad messed up last night." She looked furious with the little blue alien. "Is that true, Gorth?" "Well, Daniel, it is true. Your dad did make a mistake." Daniel sighed as he looked at the domes and minarets of the Hagia Sophia. "There is one thing, though," said Custard. "I think it may have helped him. I think he was going to be ambushed on that plane. And if all the humans here are being honest, I think, Charlotte, you should say why you were really angry with Gorth." "All right then, I will. He just said we were never going to find the eye of the storm if we were dragging along a girl." Charlotte looked furious, even more furious. She had her arms crossed, almost, and she was glaring at Gorth, daring him to say it again. "Well, it's true." Gorth turned to plead with Daniel. "I mean, come on, girls are rubbish. She can't even catch." "I'm transparent. We all are here, and you noticed." "Well, you know what I mean. Girls are rubbish at sport. You know it's true, Daniel. Women's football," he said with a note of alarm in his voice. "I mean, I'd rather watch monkey tennis." "That's not true, Gorth." Daniel was angry now. "She can do anything we can do." "You speak for yourself." Gorth ignored the last comment. "How is your dad, by the way?" Daniel's dad had come home from the airport a beaten man. The worst part had been he'd been forced to wait for 2 hours for the office to open before he could ring his boss and tell her the bad news. "Not good," said Daniel. "They're so angry with him now, they're going to make him take the bus to where a ship is waiting on the Rhone River in France. It's not good. Actually, it's worse than that. They're going to make him take all the bingo equipment for the ship. And it's heavy." "Well, that's really bad for your dad." Charlotte was all business again. "But what are we doing here?" "Follow me," said Gorth. They were soon inside the gallery of the Hagia Sophia, standing in front of the white marble screen. "I think the bottom hair is over there. There's a golden jewellery box. That's where it has to be." "Hey, Furball," said Charlotte as Gorth reached out to touch the reliquary. "You haven't really thought this through, have you?" "What? What do you mean?" "I mean, you can't steal it. You can't steal anything." "What?" "Go ahead, pick it up. The hair from the donkey's bottom. Pick it up. It's stuck to the icon, isn't it?" "Well, so..." Gorth swung his hand through the golden box. "Then we can..." And then he was as insubstantial here as a rebate from HMRC. "Well, I'm glad you brought that up because you don't know what to do you?" Charlotte could barely bring herself to watch. "I would like to say yes," said Gorth, "but the answer will probably be more negative than that." "Gorth, yes?" "Just say no." No." "So what can we do then?" "Well, I'm not beaten yet. Just give me a little bit of time and I'll think of something." "Custard?" "Yes, your opposable thumbness?" "What are we going to do?" "Well, I have been thinking about this, your grimness, and the answer I come up with is physics. We have to go to the present day where at least one of our group actually has a body, or at very least a form of presence, an imprint, if you like, of a body." He looked at Charlotte, who didn't look very happy. "Great," said Daniel, "happy to get out of here, wherever here is, and get back to Derby. But what do we do then?" Well then, this is where the physics comes in. We knock up a device whereby we can move both through time and space, come back here to Turkey, pick up the bottom hair, and then travel back again through time and space to the ship." "Well, that sounds easy enough," said Gorth. "Bet you would never figure that out, would you, girl?" "You certainly didn't figure it out, great boy. I have never been so insulted." Gorth looked genuinely shocked. He normally handed out the insults. This was unheard of. "Stick around, furball. There's plenty more where that came from." There was an intense shimmering of light all around them, and Daniel felt a familiar tugging sensation in his tummy. They were being taken back. "I am attempting to manipulate the Eon stream." Custard was trying to speak normally. but they could all hear the strain in his voice. This is not easy for me, he carried on, as I'm more of a toaster cum teas maker than a supercomputer. But listen everybody, this is very, very important. We must avoid causality violation. No time paradoxes. Right, said Gorth, nodding. So what does that mean then? He means Daniel must not meet Daniel. Charlotte was nodding knowledgeably. Why? Gorth, have you been listening to any of this? Gorth grinned and pulled the earbuds from his blue, furry ears. The sounds of "Give your granny a kiss for Christmas" were clearly audible. Nope, he grinned. You are the girl. You like social interaction. You do the listening. I'm a male. I like to brood in intense silence. An idiot. There is a difference, you know, between forming peer groups and communicating between friends that you trust in a deep and meaningful way, and no, not with you lot, said Gorth, so just gossip about boys and sparkly pencil cases. Now listen, we need to stop bickering. Custard sounded exasperated. When we get back to Derby, I will stay out of the way. It will be up to the three of you acting together as a team. Do you understand? The fate of the planet may depend on this. Gorth stuck his tongue out at Charlotte, who responded with a rude hand gesture. Come on then, girl, said Gorth. Let's go and save Handbags R Us. Soon they were standing in the semi-darkness of Daniel's mum's kitchen. There was no sound in the house. She was fast asleep upstairs, and Daniel was downstairs, just as asleep. Transparent Daniel, however, was loitering nervously near the front door. What do we do now? His voice was little more than a whisper. Right, said Custard. Let's have a look. Do you have in your kitchen some kind of machine to capture a collapsing black hole? Well, no, not really. We've got a toaster. Why do we need a machine like that? Well, we're going to need an energy source on a stellar scale. Daniel looked around, but all he could see was a battery-powered whisk. Okay then, Custard appeared lost in thought. Got it. Do you have a dark matter reconstitutor? Honestly, Charlotte was tutting now. This is a kitchen, not a physics lab from the 24th century. Of course he hasn't got whatever that was. Charlotte is right, I'm afraid. We haven't got one of those. Not much of a kitchen, Gorth was muttering. I mean, what does your mum cook for you? Do you happen to have a hydrogen fusion portable time-travelling device? Custard was sounding less and less hopeful. My mum's a great cook, but she does it with the oven. Daniel scowled at the hopeful look on the alien's face. And, I have to say, my dad cooks sometimes. Really? How does that work out? Asked Charlotte. Well, said Daniel, you know, it's been better. Daniel tried to rack his brains. He hated being disloyal to his dad. Well, he does make a really good cheese and pineapple toasted sandwich. I mean, I know that it's not technically cooking, he added, but, well, cheese and pineapple, said Gorth. Together? He sounded stunned. Well, yeah, said Daniel, he's got a toasted sandwich maker. It's called a Breville. On the same plate, said Gorth. Together? Well, yes. Well, that is simply brilliant. Computer, I am way ahead of you, your robustness. I'm going to make some computer calculations right now. Bearing in mind we need to cobble together something that can generate the same amount of power as a small sun using only the items found in a human kitchen. I think this is a stroke of genius. Exactly what is a stroke of genius? Charlotte was puzzled. You said we need to produce the power of a small sun. That can't be done, and Daniel's dad is not a genius. Hey! Well, I'm not sure, but I think Daniel's dad may have done just that. But then we'll need to link the power generated to another item found in a human home that can make matter trans-dimensional and protect us while we travel into another continuum. That's if the energy source works in the first place. What energy source? Said Charlotte. I understand your misgivings, Charlotte. Why you think this cannot be done. It can't be done, said Charlotte. You're all mad. Now, let me tell you what Daniel's dad has discovered. What? Well, look, let me put it another way. You are the only one here who can influence events physically. Well, yes, I am, but she could not bring herself to say, dead. Yes, we know, dead. But you still have an imprint here, so you can still move things in a physical sense, which is something none of the rest of us can do. So you have to concentrate, you have to visualize the object you want to influence. Daniel, where is this incredible machine your father calls a toasted sandwich maker? You mean the Breville? Yes, bring out the mighty Breville. Now concentrate, Charlotte. We can't afford any accidents here. Picture the door in your mind and then picture it opening. That's it. They all cheered as the cupboard door swung slightly open. I'm a ghost, said Charlotte happily. Well, more of a poltergeist, but it's a start. So, let's get those ingredients out. We're about to go cooking. Slightly less than an hour later, they were finally ready. The tin of pineapple was opened, messily. The cheddar cheese was cut, awkwardly, and the bread was buttered, haphazardly. This will not work, said Charlotte flatly. Have you ever had one? Said Custard. Because when you mix these ingredients in that machine, you get the hottest temperatures known to man. Really? Said Charlotte. You're going to make a time machine out of a cheese toasty maker? Absolutely. Is it going to get hot enough? It's going to be hotter than a welding torch. Really? It's going to be hotter than a furnace. Really? Well, isn't that dangerous? Well, it's relative, admitted Custard. I mean, it is, for example, more dangerous than the Argos catalogue, but it's, for example, less dangerous than World War II. But, okay, Daniel, what next? Plug it in. Inside 20 seconds, the sandwich toaster was hot. 20 more and it was ready to go. Bread first, said Daniel. No, butter side down. That's the mistake people make. There, then the cheese, then the pineapple. Cheese and pineapple together, that really is genius. Custard sounded almost in awe. Isn't it? Gorth was trying to clap his hands with glee and failing. Why exactly? The molten cheese will combine with the pineapple in such a way, said Custard, that both the second and the third law of thermodynamics will be compromised. Will they? Said Charlotte. Oh yes, generating heat of such intensity on a submolecular level that it will be the equivalent of billions of tons of hydrogen nuclei burning away. Oh, right. Which means it will generate enough heat via Brownian motion at a subatomic level to warp the space-time continuum itself and enable us to open the fabric, or one of us gets a nasty little burn on the tongue in this dimension. However, our next issue is how to link the two of you together. You got any ideas, Daniel? On what? On how to make matter in two space-time zones come together equivalently while avoiding temporal causality violations. No, I don't. I'm 10 and disabled. Right, so nothing to help us then. It's just that you had a great idea with the toasties. It's a lovely snack, and then when we've finished, we can solve the global energy crisis as well, which will be nice. So what exactly do you need? Well, we have the power source. We now need a linkage mechanism. Custard fell silent. You see, the problem is that we need you to connect something the two of you must stay together, so that when you materialise, you both have substance in the next space-time continuum. Hey, what about me? Said Charlotte. I'm afraid that you are dead in this continuum, and you'll be dead in the next one. Oh, bummer. Indeed, we also need you here. Somebody will have to unplug that toasty machine before it burns its way to the Earth's core. Oh, right. And then turn it back on, so you can jump back to this continuum. But do not get noticed, or Daniel's parents may put the toasting machine away. Yeah, that's right, girl. Stay in the background, quiet as a ghoul. Gorth? What? Well, at least she's not coming with us. None of us are, unless we find something that protects your heads like a dual helmet, but one that is linked, so that when you are transported, you stay together. Do you have a neural field net emitter? No, I think we've been through all this. No, we haven't got anything like that. I don't know what that is, and if I did, the answer would be no. Do you have a transmogrifying ray? It's just what you can see, said Daniel. So you have a primitive oven and a radio. I ask you, a radio? What's that over there? It's the washing basket. No, on top of it. Well, it's washing. My mum says I generate it. She calls me Washload Oldham. Sometimes no, that's perfect. That's what we need. I am running a transstellar tensile test on that item there. Ooh, that's an excellent find. Twin-mounted helmets as well. I don't believe you two. Charlotte looked disgusted as she followed their gaze. Less than a minute later, however, they were sat on the floor of the kitchen with one of Daniel's mum's bras on their heads. They each had a head in one cup, Gorth being dwarfed by his. How big is your mum? He asked, looking up. My dad says just big enough. Daniel turned his head inside the cup. Oh, there is a lot of room in here, though. Perhaps we should invite someone else. No, come on, let's see if this works. Custard, are you ready? The Breville has achieved a temperature of over 12,000 kelvins and climbing. There's enough power here to send Derby back to medieval Turkey. Charlotte, are you ready? Yes, came a bored reply as Charlotte hovered by the plug by the cupboard. Let's do it, shouted Gorth. Into infinity. In a bra.